today, Rinpoche stressed the importance of practicing wherever we are. It's very important that we work on collecting the two collections of exalted wisdom and merit, because we can't become a Buddha without them, and it's a very difficult road to get to them. But with bodhicitta, the suffering is non-existent. Where do you have Lich? I have 183. Yep, okay. So, yeah, we began that section after the quote, I remember. 434. Jipja sumju sunji. 434. Also since the completion, that's where we begin, right? The beginning of 192.
Yes,
That's good. Tuka. The long sar. That's good. Nge ramaso. Okay. She. Okay. Jeja sumju sunsum. Yeah. 433. 433. Sumju. Jipja sumju. Yeah. More. The lo.
Yeah.
The lo dang denba ji. The tama. Lo dang denba.
Yeah.
The tama. Lo dang denba. Atsu de gang isena ngatsu de long kasa long sar.
Yeah.
The dewe sanje jinto she sar.
Oh yeah, dang at
Okay.
lari.
Chichena?
Lari do the chibu chungu la, chibu ding la, chibu chimbi la. Chibu chungu la jandu da, magi chibu chudin marba. The chibu chungu la is.
Less so?
Then Habason chibu ding la.
Less so?
Then the shachu sent on shindu chibu chimbi la. What the name of it?
Okay, so when we look at Buddhism, if we were to summarize all of Buddha's teachings, we would be able to do so by putting them into the categories of teachings for beings of three capacities. Those teachings have specific practices within them to achieve the goals contained in each of the capacities. So we begin with the teachings shared in common with beings of small capacity. A translator's note, we say in common because they are practiced by all of the other capacities as well as their own capacity. As we go up in the stages, the lower capacities aren't discarded, they're practiced alongside the greater capacities as one goes up the stages. So the teachings shared in common with beings of small capacity are those teachings which lead to the state of higher realms of cyclic existence. So one practices going for refuge to the three jewels and engages in the ethics that abandons the 10 non-virtuous activities. The next are the teachings that are shared in common with beings of medium capacity or sometimes middling capacity. And these teachings are for beings who wish to achieve the state of liberation, of nirvana. And those practices are the three highest higher trainings. The highest higher training in ethics, concentration, and wisdom. So these practices lead to an individual liberation. And then the last are the teachings for beings of great capacity, and those are the teachings that lead to complete Buddhahood, and one practices a union of the Te Chen, Cherangari Lason, Nyamlen Gari, Semche Dang.
Shindu.
Okay, so practicing the, I just wanted to be specific with what Rinpoche said. So the stages for beings of great capacity are practiced by generating the mind that aspires to enlightenment or bodhicitta, and then practicing the 6 perfections. Diksun.
Oya dangal tu lari jambo de jija sonju susung. Yujina.
Lesso.
Rinchen tenwa lonju duwa rinchen. Goma ludu rinchen tenwa.
Lesso.
Rinchen tenwa le dunga wala duitong yang. Ane zoga yuerin henche gus. Dunga meji duwa la tayi duijang jishi nu. Tela luji dunga me yiji dunga kala yu. Tene hinji jinen du. Teni jina yuerin ne teyu sanji rintu she ludan tenpa ludan tenpa jimulu. Nyezi yuen ten tonne dala tatun beba sha she su hos wada rinchen chun lontu wada sun
Lesso, silpudu.
Dunga wala du tong yangs, dat dunga nga loji dunga nga ga dunga, akasa loji dunga yiji dunga, yoba ina, tutu tutong ina dana kali kabu yuwares. Dunga wala du tong yang, zoga yuwarin meche gus, ane zoba kawa ne, ane yuwarin dunga yoba ina kisha shigwa yuwares. Dunga meche duwa la, loji duwa nga, yiji duwa yoba ina, 타이 두장 지시너스 원에 도와요 바이나 어디 타이 네 두수 타이 바이나 되네 너버요 말스 들라 르지 동에메 이지 동에 갈아요스 르지 동에메 이지 동에 갈아요 요 말스 되네 이지 지된 도스 되네 이지 지된 도 네 신경 타지라메 이지 바이나 안 어디 동에 용거스 동에
Lesso.
There's Majiba Yungo.
Lesso.
Then he didn't do. The Nijina Urenes, she Tajila maybe he do ever ina, and then to about the Mabot and the Koma Domba to Negres, Shanjus and Bata, Sanjitu. Urene, Teyu Sanji, Rentushi, Ludan Deba Jimalus, Ludan Deba, Shadow Deba ina. Jelu ba yung mares, jelu ba lelu yung mares. Nyezi yun ten, tuantu ne, tala tatun beba shas. Nyeba seji ki yun ten tuantu ne, ena tuit pata kali jogu res. Shesu os. Otu ba kali juna mares.
Lesso. This Sacha Garyana Nyamlen Che. Sacha Kabiore Garyana Nyamlen Che Digrit. Okay, so we're going to begin on page 192 in the English, and we'll begin with a quote from Nagarjuna's Precious Garland. It's 3/4 of the way down or so. So Nagarjuna's Precious Garland states, "When suffering even a short time is hard to bear, what need to mention a time that is long? But when free of suffering and joyful, what harms you over even endless time? Bodhisattvas have no physical suffering. How could they have mental suffering? Out of compassion they feel distress for the world. Thus they remain for a long time. So do not be discouraged thinking Buddhahood is far away. Always strive at these collections, so as to eliminate faults and gain good qualities." So when we look at the suffering that we have to ourselves endure, we have the suffering of our body and the suffering of our mind that occurs. And these sufferings, when they occur, even for a very short period of time, are hard to bear because of our way of looking at them, because of our conditioning. So it's saying that so if it's hard for us to bear them for a very short period of time, we don't even need to say how difficult it is for a very long period of time with those same kind of suffering. So it says then, but when free of suffering and joyful, what harms you over even endless time? When you have joyous perseverance, with the bodhisattva has, finding joy in doing that which is virtuous, then the sufferings don't have the effect because of the mental state that the effect of suffering because of the mental state that the bodhisattva has. So it says that if one is free of suffering in terms of being joyful, joyous perseverance, then wouldn't matter if these harms occurred forever, or it says for even endless time. What harms you over even endless time? If you were joyful, then it wouldn't matter. You wouldn't have this same effect that we have, who are not bodhisattvas have, when we relate to even small sufferings over short periods of time. So the relationship with the suffering is different for bodhisattvas because of their joyous perseverance. So bodhisattvas have no physical suffering. How could they have mental suffering? Out of compassion, they feel distress for the world. Thus, they remain for a long time. Their compassion keeps them within cyclic existence, helping sentient beings. So here it says, out of compassion they feel distress for the world, thus they remain for a long time. So bodhisattvas wish to come to this world system where there are these experiences of suffering and so forth, because of the what it enables he or she to do. So do not be discouraged thinking Buddhahood is far away. Always strive at these collections so as to eliminate faults and gain good qualities. So this is a quote from Nagarjuna's Precious Garland. I believe that's all Rinpoche said. Okay, Digsung Rinpoche.
Ya sanjawala su taiba dugula teshindo kayu meneso nyatu shomba majades. 상제발로 소나고 투다 이제도 타이바지 사고로데 안간누고 말이냐베 쇼바지주 말레스 쇼바 메자데 네 체도 샤와 세제 타이비 셰도 토저 상제지 네 타이바 토반데베 꾸나란데 뒤바도 메바 네발라 미네 투 타이바 루바 샤오 냐네 네 romba zona ni lo maluda sentient do imai tanje do sona nakada nyaba domba yu ba desido da do sobe tu taiba zoba makai shedes tenile renchenwa jirwa renchenwa le shuna kundu nakada sadan chodan madalon jedar tayi desido dunga sentient tayi de sentient tayi dane shanchu semba hinte dunga tale tranchite sanjinila goba nge tetra temba ne meniwa nyero yada lamba ne zunde pa me chujan sejena taishana sejejin suno tai dasu joro 타이 되나 사진이 타이 투문가 시 가이 밤에 뒤내데 르제바도 매도도 샤슈 밤에 통되지 거바도 매지바 제고 샤슈 밤에 장네 바도 매번 나바지 투지 рем보 무토 바르 제답은 토반주 셰소스 다든 뭐 어디 뜻송도도 이제 상자와로 투도 소나고 투다 이제 그 투타이 버사고르스 제가 잠만 소소사고로 소나고 투서나 아니 샤주지 생당 니지부터 소나고 투레스 전에 돈이 또 비셔도 시소이 말에
Yeah, the understanding. Tsunami show?
소나고 투도 쇼서나 샤주기 생당
Okay.
니지부터
Less.
어디 그 신도는 싫어마도 얘가 가서는 좀 말이야. 집이 바로 신봉배. 집이 바로 신봉배. 저한테 터스시스. 신도는 안에 가서 저한테 터스시스. 네 신도는 안에 어디 싫어지 파신도 마도 얘다가 소나고
the Dipankara.
야, 오케이. 야, 랑드로.
Less. Okay, so now we move on. Let's see some good qualities. Also, since the completion of endless collections is not difficult, do not discourage yourself with the thought to become a Buddha requires completing limitless collections of merit and sublime wisdom. This is so difficult that I could not possibly do it. First, motivate yourself with the desire to attain the goal of limitless Buddha qualities for the welfare of the limitless beings you intend to help. Next, focus on remaining in cyclic existence for a measureless period of time and take the bodhisattva vows thinking, I shall accomplish limitless collections. Then as long as you keep the vows, whether your mind is distracted by other things or not, asleep or awake, you will constantly accumulate merit as vast as space. The Precious Garland states, just as in all directions, space, earth, water, fire, and wind are limitless, so we assert, suffering beings are without limit. With compassion, the bodhisattvas extricate these limitless beings from suffering and then determine to set them in Buddhahood. Those remaining steadfast in this way properly make this commitment, and then, whether asleep or awake, and even when careless, they constantly accumulate merit as limitless as living beings. For beings are without limit. Because of the limitlessness of this, know that limitless Buddhahood is not hard to gain. Those who remain for an immeasurable time seek immeasurable enlightenment for the sake of immeasurable beings and accomplish immeasurable virtue. Hence, though enlightenment is measureless, how could they fail to attain it before long through a combination of these four immeasurable ways? This Semeji Rinpoche, the Umarinchin Chewa, the Shiloka Tama, the Semeji. That's low.
Yeah.
So what are the collections that one needs to acquire in order to become a Buddha? They are two: the collection of exalted wisdom and the collection of merit. So categorically, if we were asked to posit what is within the collection of merit, we would say practices such as the mind that aspires to enlightenment and great compassion. And if we were asked to posit that which is the collection of wisdom, we would say those wisdoms related to the nature of reality, of emptiness. So the wisdoms realizing the lack of true establishment, or those wisdoms realizing emptiness. So these are the collections that are necessary. So they constantly accumulate merit as limitless as living beings, for beings are without limit. Because of limitlessness of this, know that limitless Buddhahood is not hard to gain. So you're seeking this immeasurable commitment to help immeasurable beings to achieve an immeasurable enlightenment. So these are concordant, if you will. They have a connection in a way of potential, a connection in a way of possibility, because of the just as a translator's note, the object of observation of immeasurable compassion is all sentient beings, immeasurable sentient beings. So that compassion is without measure, so its object is without measure, so its realization is without measure. So these are the two so through this 3 countless eons of after achieving the mind that aspires to enlightenment, Buddha, for 3 countless eons, collected this, worked on these collections, and then achieved the state of Buddhahood once they were complete. So, Ningate Sampa.
Tani lo malu dan senjen do imayin tanji do sona ji tu tai na kha danya ba don ba yue ba desi do ta do so ba tu tai ba do ba ma ga ishe de sa tani de garja wo res che gu do da seri ba do ni de garja wo res ni ye ze ro da ni de sho sana ni garja wo da
sleep.
Ni di sheba mai bare.
Sheba.
Oda ni sheba yins. San yung re. Oda si ti song da ni di garja wu res. Nga ni ke ro da. Ni di jo sa na. Wang shi na to do a shebe shele jin san yung de ni yins ni. Ni ke wang du nga so wang shi ka me ba cha na do. Wang shi na to do a shebe shele jin san yung de ni res ni.
The Senripa Lenjasung, the Dunta Chi Ngama, Ted, the Tem Mambo Cheran Lasung, the Senripa Dikelen, Ngatsu Niker, Dene Ngatsu Wangshe Hakogudu, Yene Ngatsu Lemba, Nangla, the Wangshe, the Lam Kagdu, Dane Sunsang Ngatsu, the Anjar Gugumare, Ngatsu Mik Shegamare, Yene, the Mik She Yure, Yine ngatsu yichi nampa sheba shingamare. Gangin sena the lemba nangla the lang ka ngatsu niker lang kagdu. Yeah, I'm just what I'm saying to Rinpoche. Rinpoche is asking again about sleep, because here it's saying no matter what the bodhisattva is doing here, she is collecting merit. So Rinpoche is asking about sleep and if this is possible according to science. So what I was saying to Rinpoche is that Rinpoche was asking questions like, does science say that when one is asleep there are still consciousness? So then I said, Ted tried to tell you this 10 times last week. This is what I'm just translating what I said over and over again, exactly this subject. And Ted brought it up to show that, and correct me if I'm wrong in the way I explain this, I'm going to simplify it, but basically what was said is that there is an awareness of the sounds. There is an awareness of taste and all of these things, but there's a part in the brain that actually stops the actual apprehension of it. So, even though you are hearing things, you can see things, you can taste things, but there's something in the brain, correct, that it says that stops the transmission into the actual mental consciousness that allows for the actual apprehension experience of it. So that's according to whatever we read. That's what it said, that there's some part, and it's interesting because if you look at the Lorig tradition, you'll find that there's a part within the way we cognize things that's called an awareness to which the object appears but is not ascertained. It's actually within the 7 types of consciousness. And they say it's, for instance, when you're engaged in a really strong conversation with a friend. You might be hungry, but you don't feel the hunger. So there's hunger is there, you're hungry, but you aren't experiencing it because you are in this other conversation. So that would be an example of that. The lorig Geshe, the Gangen Sena, the lorig, the yure the ngatsu the trogo dudu yene ngatsu the trobo geche she ngatsu lanka the kambaja then trobo geche shegudu yene ngatsu trogo dudu ngatsu trogo du the salo dangamare gangisena ngatsu trobo geche she then the nangla mane the gare the ngusum
kada
jpag iche nangla mang I think it's sampa nangla mane that's good the lorig
ni de karin se sanjun yin sanjun on she not do a she be le jen sanjun de ni yin si ni
hold on 14 12 31 that's good Rinpoche 14 okay here we go the nangla mange the Chenripa kelen ngatsu niker then da yure ngatsu anje gudu yene lemba nangla ichi namba sheba the lang kagdu then nangla mane dang drapudu nangla mane
hala mange
yeah nangla mange le lorig the ngatsu the trogo dugudu then yene ngatsu trobo geche then trogo du sanlodang amare gangin sena the jenda the sanlodang the drapodu Chenripa kelen the ngatsu the da anje gudu the ro the tsadu yene the lemba the dets kagdu gangin sena niker ni leka kuna
ni de on she tu me ba cha ru da ni de sho san na sanjun le sanjun on she not do a she be she le jen sanjun de ni is
So according to Buddhism, I was trying to show that that's very similar. It's not working. So according to Buddhism, sleep is a mental factor. Their mind and mental factors. Sleep is considered a mental factor. That is what Buddhism asserts. So I was saying it's similar in that the brain is in a way taken over by the sleep, so it's an awareness that's not cognized, very similar to Nangla Mange, an awareness to which the object appears, it's not ascertained. The definition is of it, an awareness to which the object appears is not ascertained is a knower to which the specifically characterized phenomenon, which is the object of engagement, clearly appears, but which is unable to induce ascertainment with respect to it. This is the same thing science says, I think. It's unable to induce ascertainment with respect to it because the brain stops it from the mental consciousness experiencing it. It's so similar to this. According to Buddhism, sleep is a mental factor. I believe it's a changeable mental factor. Okay, the Ni Semjong?
Yeah.
Rinpoche?
Senjun.
Senjun.
On she not do a she le jen sanjun de ni yin song yo de
Okay. Then the Senjung.
sanjun de ngon yo de ni kon do da
Okay, so it's a. Then the Senjung Ewa the Dru. The Senjung Gare the Ni.
on she not do a she le jen sanjun ro do a she le jen chuan du she ka sa我的sanjun ma bu yo ro sanjun ga ju za jin ju ma de
Leso. Then the Gondru. Yunge. Guys, it's a Ni.
chuan du she san ba ila shi ba de ba chuan du she san ba ila shi ba de ba to so a yin ji ma de
Okay, so anyway, there are.
sanjun de se lo jin
Okay, so it falls under the category of mental factor. Rinpoche said that's fine to leave it at that level of.
Okay. Ni ka gre ni sho san da ja ka do ta ni ka gre ni sho san lo na ga zo de lo ka mu de
So if we were to say, so there is sleep. So if you were to say, posit sleep or show what sleep is, it's a little difficult to explain. Is it not something to like this? Rinpoche is saying. Okay.
ta ni de wo de ni de yin ju yin 니니 칼라마도 거월 산당요나 생각니도 거월인 그래서 니니 칼라마도 디벌 산당요나 생각니도 디벌스
Less so.
아니 니니 칼라마도 생도 로마데레도나 니도 로마데레스
Less so. The Rinpoche ngama the dan triwa the operation ja the drapodu the gewat sanodan then a operation the semba mepa the operation gariana gewayan ni drapodu
니 잡이지로
직시나?
그 산로 아버지 당갈라면도 거와 산당요나 어디
Drop.
거와리지로
Okay, Chichen. So Rinpoche, I'm sorry. I know there's a lot of commentary today, but a lot of this relates to questions that we had. So I'm just relating it. So when it's stated, going back to the way that the bodhisattva, everything that he or she does becomes virtuous. It's stated that before we go to sleep, that if we set our motivation correctly, that our entire sleep is permeated by whatever the motivation was before we went to sleep. So for instance, if before we fall asleep, before we go to sleep, if we are thinking about virtue, if virtue is on our mind, then it's stated that our entire sleep is virtuous. And then it's stated that if it's non-virtuous, our entire sleep is non-virtuous. And that if it's not presented in scripture or neutral, then the entire sleep is neutral. So what I said then, this maybe relates to your question last week about an operation where you have a loss of consciousness. So I said, would it be similar that if before you go under the knife or before an operation, if all of your thoughts are virtuous or non-virtuous or lumaten not neutral, if that would be the same, if your entire operation would be virtuous or non-virtuous or neutral? And Rinpoche said, yes. If you think about it in that way and set your motivation believing that, yes, it's similar to sleep in that my entire operation will be virtuous. If you believe and think in this way, then yes, it would definitely be the same as before you sleep. Thinking virtuously, your whole sleep is virtuous operation. Thinking virtuous, the operation, that the period of time of not conscious, being conscious, would, Rinpoche, remember he said it, you're operating on imprints. So I guess it would be spurring virtuous ones somehow. So I'm sorry we're going around, but I think it was important to connect to that. Digsung Rinpoche, tu chena sabodu. Lessa.
Shuna kudu nakata sata chotan matalung chetara tayi dejindo ane sejen dunga sejen tayi du sejen tayi tadane ane shangchu senbi hin tseyus sejen tayi bata sula ne shangchu senbi hinji chagaris hin tseyu dunga tali changshite dunga tali changshite 네 사진이라 고방에서 샤주선바 신제 단지를 미비 hinji 외장 네 샤주선비 신제 타이버다 네 사지 살고 그래서 사지 공부도 비지 세제다들 공부해다 네 신제 타이버도 그걸로 사지 살고 그래서
Lessa.
등에 달에 예전 사진이라 고방에 never gogres. The temba net the temba net Menewa, Niaron, Yanda Lamba, Nezunde, Ne Bame Tujan, Sijena, Taishana, Sijeji, Suna, Tai, Tasu Jurus, Otusan Tambayina, Tuta to the Saint-Oule de Wade, Chanchu Saint-Antoine, Sanduabayina, Tutatone, Sonon Taiba Sagres, Sonon Tai Tasu Juro, Tai Dena, Sanjini, Tai Tumakawas, what the nigger Chanchu Saint-An, Sonon Tula, what this Santabayina, Sanji Gomutu Bakalikab Mares. 상진이 타이 토무가 셰샤 가지 밤에 뒤내데 그 밤에 뒤내데 le jen pa de me don do shang chu pa me shang chu pa do me de jin go pa do me je ba de gu shang chu pa me jan pa do me ba na ba je tu ji ren bo mo to ba je da ba na to min jo jo gres wa de tu ta ye ba sa ge na Jesus what about do karendo
Shizu. Rinpoche, the Inchi ke seme je your
pa me je so pa me
barme je seme je kakare
kakaro
ale
tu pa to me ba
chapagare
si je pa to me ba tu pa to me ba dan tam do so
ale
so ba ju te so je ni ta ye
barme seme kakare.
kakare
Then the chapagare Rinpoche gangin sen the Inchi ke the sik chipa. Then the chapagare.
tu pa to me ba tu se ren bol ko gro ba si je pa to me si je mo bol ko gro wo de ni pa me ba wo de ja go mar ba
Then seme.
다이 세메 저는 진짜 세메 샤바 세메 다뉴 세메 어떤 데자고로 또 가가로
Ale. Then drame seme drapodu or drame dang barme drapodu. Drame barme chipa
더블 다
drapodu. Okay, gonga mebaji gangin sen ngatsu Inchi ke the sik chi. The seme badu mepa the sik chi. Then kakare. Okay, so then the ni care the genjor semjong genjor
니 세종 있어
the genjor change jor genjor genjor. Okay, the precious garland states, so just in all directions, space, earth, water, fire, and wind are limitless, so we assert. Suffering beings are without limit. With the compassion, the bodhisattvas extricate these limitless beings from suffering and then determine to set them in Buddhahood. So it is the great compassion that causes the bodhisattvas and then the Buddha to work with sentient beings to bring them to a state of Buddhahood. So it's the compassion that pushes them to free them. Those remaining steadfast in this way properly make this commitment, and then, whether asleep or awake, and even when careless, they constantly accumulate merit as limitless as living beings, for beings are without limit. Because of the limitlessness of this, know that limitless Buddhahood is not hard to gain. This word that's being used for limitless, pa mepa.
sonje pa to mepa sonje momul ko gro sonje pa to mepa
Ini the nge the trua the Inchi ke the limit the bar mepa ka tugumare.
sonje pa to mepa sonje momul ko gro
The dugyo bar mepa
dungen mombo
the Inchi ke dugyo bar mepa dugyo ka tugumare. Gangin sena bar mepa. I think we've got a problem with our lexicon here. We're using this word limitless, and I was saying to Rinpoche that in Tibetan it just means like tons, lots. But it seems if you say limitless suffering, then it sounds like you can't stop it because there's not a limit to it. So I think that we've got a problem with the datayin, the kejor, the jun. Gangin sena the bar mepi dungyao the injike that seek pecha chena dungyao kat tugmare. Okay, so we've got it. There's the problem then with it. Now it maybe in the Tibetan has to be explained too. Maybe it says limitless and it's like it just means many because it's bar mepa. There's no it kind of the word if you literally translate it does sound like limitless, but it means lots, tons. So that's interesting to know when you look at a lot of the words, like, and you think that doesn't make any sense. That here we see that, okay, well, it doesn't exactly mean there's no limit to it, because that would mean there's no potential to get rid of it. So anyway, it's just saying if you have a lot of, let's see. With let's start over. Just as in all directions, space, earth, water, fire, and wind are vast, so we assert suffering beings are vast. With compassion, the bodhisattvas extricate these vast beings from suffering and then determine to set them in Buddhahood. Those remaining steadfast in this way properly make this commitment, and then, whether asleep or awake, and even when careless, they constantly accumulate merit, which is vast. As living beings, for beings are vast, because of the vastness of this, know that vast Buddhahood is not hard to gain. That makes a lot, I think, more sense and seems possible. Those who remain for a long time seek, I think here, for an incredible amount of time, seek this incredible enlightenment for the sake of an incredible amount of beings and accomplish an incredible amount of virtue. Because we have this word immeasurable again, which then causes a problem within our English language, because it doesn't seem like there is a way. When we say limitless sentient beings, remember we had that question: is there a number of sentient beings? How can they be How can there be countless if there are a number of them? So I think now we're seeing that it's just like almost hyperbole, I think, in a sense, like exaggeration in a sense, like it's limitless. It just means vast. It means grand. And if I'm making a great error right now in my translation, this is just my opinion in my translation, an epiphany we're having here live with a teacher. So if I'm completely wrong, I apologize. But it seems like this, and I think anyone reading it makes sense. And accomplish a large amount of virtue. Hence, though enlightenment is vast or grand, how could they fail to attainment before long through a combination of these four grand ways? And I asked Rinpoche if these four immeasurables are the same as the four immeasurable thoughts that we have. May all sentient beings have happiness and the causes of happiness. It's not the same word. So it's not the same word in Tibetan. So here's another confusion. I said, they're talking about the four immeasurables here of love, compassion, and joy and equanimity. And it's not. It's a different Tibetan word altogether. That Tibetan word means a lot, means vast. These four vast ways. And then Rinpoche, Zhe, show? Zhe. I'm asking where the four. Do kabir. Time. So first is time. Long time.
Tene shanchu batu meba shanchu ne tuchi shanchu ranje shanchu tejen shanchu batu mambol gogoro boda batu me ba mes
mambo a lot
go batu meba sina go mambol gogoro batu meba tejedele ba mes jes.
So these four immeasurable things, four immeasurable, we're saying in English, refer to a long time. What's the second one? Nipa? I can't read my writing. The Tambo du Nipa?
Nipa?
Oh, sentient beings. Okay, so the first is a vast amount of time. The second is a vast amount of sentient beings. The third is vast enlightenment, and then the fourth is vast virtue. And we can say limitless, but they're using immeasurable here. So you could say immeasurable time, immeasurable sentient beings, immeasurable enlightenment, and immeasurable virtue. So that's what the four are referring to. The time, sentient beings, enlightenment. And then there, Rinpoche said there are many different enlightenments. There are the enlightenment of the hearer, the solitary realizer, and the enlightenment of the Buddha. The vast enlightenments. Less so. So enlightenment and then the virtue. You need a vast amount of virtue in order to have a vast enlightenment, because there are vast sentient beings, and it takes a vast amount of time. Something to this effect. So it is stated that through these ways, hence this enlightenment, though enlightenment is vast, how could they fail to attain it before long through a combination of these four vast ways? And enlightenment is achieved by this union of collections, this collection of exalted wisdom and collection of merit. Vast collections, now it even makes more sense. These vast collections, they are called, are created by vast virtue to create a vast enlightenment. Digsung Rinpoche. Got to stop before I get carried away.
la tu na nyamba ina shin tu ngotsa yang tada ki shu na maybe shin tu renwa de shweba taye ba la lu go ba ta ka shi mo do go ba na tu na de su na su nu nyane ne nyelang tsuwa geshe na ne mhensen la ju ne nuen jin ju sen la ngon su ne la ti jin je ri je ne ba jemen do son ne chang jawa la che rin do de shangchu ji sen je to ji cher jeba shebi tsu jayu gomba lodu dan tume ji ten la papa dan leba ngi sheros woten ma wote se do ta tena shamba sana sije ta je dewa dan tena che ma ro nya be shamba ma be
Leso.
ne sije ku ji bu jona nya be sang lu de shamba dans and heje sana sije dongan da tena nya be sang lu heje shangchu ji sen sana sije ta je go do sanji gu mu tu ba xiao nya be sang lu shangchu sen ma be sanji ba ne je dun she ya da zu bi shangchu de otro tena shamba da heje da shangchu sen tu shu zha be yo ba yin na shu zha ne yi jue be sije ji dun du sanji du tong xi shila tu na nya ba yin na xin du ngo cha de ne shamba de shu shamba da ni ji da shangchu sen shu zha be yo ba yin na de yi jue be sije ji dun sanji gu mo du tong xi la tu na nya ba xi yin na xin du ngo cha de wo de yong ma le so go yo da ngo cha yang tada ki shu na me bi che du xin du rin wa dang xue ba ta yi ba la lu de ba dang ga xi mo du gu ba na la tu na de da su na su nu nyang du nie lang chu wa ge xi na Then Tharim, but then Sanji Kumonto, Kale Kabare, Sanji Kumonto, ne Jobutuag, Lanji Gogun Huzan. Theatre, Sone, two, Sununjane, Yalanso, Kishanane, Hansenji June, Nurgins, Hansel June, Hansel no what is
Less so.
Shanju sent the Mercer to Josani,
Less so.
Josani. Shanju sent Doma to be Shanju sent Doma to Tadu Shanju sent Josan.
Less so.
Doma Matu Gong Shanju sent Mercer.
Less so.
The Mercer la June Nurgin, Josan la Monsunella. Kijin region nearby, Cement Sone. Tanjawa la Jerindo Rode Shanchuji Senji Toji Ser Jeba Shebi Tu Jayuguma Lulu Dan Tumenji Den la Poba Dan Leba Gay Sherosa or Den San Tabaina and the Lulu Tumen to Jontan Gena Dos.
Dixon.
Yeah.
It is most wonderful to think the Rinpoche, the Lung, the Tambo, the Charan Lung Nang Song, the Shamba Dang Ninji,
Shamba Ninji, Shamba Sana Senior Tanji, Senior Tanji Jibu Jona Yamasan, Shamba Marba,
Lesso,
Shambaro, Senior Tanji Dungan, the China Yamasan, Ninji,
Lesso,
Shanchu Sense and Senior Tanji Gundo, Sanji Kumu, Shao Yamasan, Chebajan Shila, Shanchu Samarba.
Lesso.
What the shoot trouble you ever in a shoot trane, each base, shoot trouble you ever in a what they Susu Sen Gujute Ures, Jube, Sentient Tanji Tundo, Sanji Dutungo Shila, Tunanyaba, Ina, Shentungo Tayans.
Dixon, so do. To check.
Oh, yeah.
Then the Charan Lung Nang Song, the Ninji saying de Chishena de Dodajan.
Kaba.
Ninji, the Ninji Dang Shamba, the Lung, the Keomari. Okay, it is most wonderful to think, if only I could attain Buddhahood in a brief time for the sake of living beings, because you are moved by the intense power of your love, compassion, and spirit of enlightenment. However, when you are not within the sphere of these motivations and you see the necessity of a very long training and endless deeds and that much hard work is required, you might think, if this is the case, who could possibly do it? If you should then claim that you are seeking a quick path, you directly damage the engaged spirit of enlightenment and indirectly damage the aspirational spirit of enlightenment. Your capacity for the Mahayana lineage steadily weakens, and your enlightenment fades into the remote distance, for you have utterly contradicted what Nagarjuna and Asanga determined to be the conqueror's own thought on how to increasingly strengthen the spirit of enlightenment. So going back here, it's okay to have this thought because you're moved by intense love, compassion, and bodhicitta that you want to become a Buddha very quickly. So that is not a negative thought, that's a virtuous thought. And what are these points, these realizations? Because you are moved by the intense power of your love. Love is the desire that to bring sentient beings to a state of happiness, where they have the causes of happiness. And then compassion, wishing that sentient beings be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. And then the spirit of enlightenment is wishing to become a Buddha for the sake of all sentient beings. So these are the three that make the thought, I want to quickly achieve Buddhahood, pure or not without error. If this thought, so then if the opposite happens, and you almost have this delusion that, oh, this should be very quick, this should happen very quickly, and then you think in that way, and however, when you are not within the sphere of these motivations, so if you're not moved by love and compassion and bodhicitta. You're not being moved at a time when you're not being moved to sentient beings having happiness, being free from suffering, and wishing to become a Buddha. When moment where that's faded or not present, I would say faded is the best, because because of what comes up, it talks about there's the person's a bodhisattva already, so the bodhicitta isn't lost. However, when you are not within the sphere, and then say you see that it's a lot of hard work and it will require a long period of time, and that discourages you, it says in this case, who can possibly do it? Then it actually harms. It says you directly damage the engaged spirit of enlightenment and indirectly damage the aspirational. So there are two types of bodhicitta. So spirit of enlightenment here is a translation of the Sanskrit word bodhicitta. We use the mind that aspires to enlightenment. These are all the same thing. In spirit of enlightenment, mind that aspires to enlightenment, bodhicitta. So these are all the same word. So aspirational bodhicitta, or is when one generates the mind that aspires to enlightenment, or bodhicitta, but has not taken the bodhisattva vow yet. So it's a bodhicitta without the presence of the bodhisattva vow. As soon as he or she has this bodhicitta, has this desire to become a Buddha for the sake of sentient beings, and then takes the bodhisattva vow, then this becomes engaged bodhicitta. So it changes from aspiring bodhicitta to engaged bodhicitta. So it's saying it directly harms your bodhisattva vows, your engaged bodhicitta, and then indirectly harms your aspirational bodhicitta, which is the basis of it. Rinpoche, the Musam Jusam Yuna? Musam Yu? Nyamdu? Nyamdu? You? Jusen. Musen Sar. Then Garchene, the Lanson Kappa Kalen, the Musen Nu, Jusen Nu, Nyamdu Nu. Jusen Yuna, Musem Sar. I'm confused because I'm saying when you get engaged bodhicitta, your aspiring bodhicitta turns into it. So why do you still have aspiring bodhicitta? I'm confused. That's all. That's what I asked Rinpoche. And he said, yes, your aspiring bodhicitta turns into engaged bodhicitta when you take the bodhisattva vow. So I was just asking how it harms both. Then Kandre Nicha knew. Okay, so, or he's saying if you have these, it can harm. So I guess if you have aspiring bodhicitta, it can harm that indirectly, and if you have engaged bodhicitta, it can harm it directly. That's a way out. Yanjir Surinang Rinpoche? Oh, I see. So it's very important that one has the idea of becoming a Buddha for the sake of all sentient beings, because this wish, this idea, becomes part of the collection of wisdom, of merit. Lungane. London. Okay. Oh, I forgot.
샤주드는 산두나 초반도는 제법아 들라 타는 마치 소스
Kabiyare.
강게 심이 단연 소화지시는 미고 이제다 그거든 이된
So
걸로
Rinpoche actually quoted the lamp for the path to enlightenment before as well. So I'm going to grab both quotes right now.
강게 심이 단연 소화지시는 미고 이제다 그거 이된 걸로 보고 강게 삼으셔서 샤주드는 산두는 초반도는 제법아 다우드 진다 라마
Okay, and Dixon. So
추근게 심이 단단냐베 추근게 심이 단단냐베 사지솔레 최범벽에 있는 소나체버로 텔레 세제 다주도 두 사주고 또 봐샤오냐 산을담바이나 소나 텔레 체그레스
the Gangi Temo Jorgi De.
강게 심이 단예지
Gangi Shim.
강게 심이 단예 사지신나 메강 메강게 세제다 그거데 지된 걸라 표와이 강게 담으셔야 샤주도는 산두나 초반도는 제법아스
That's so.
주 경계 심이 다다냐면 사지솔 제법비와 소나체버로 텔레트는 시장 다지고도 두 사지고 또 봐샤오냐 새도 공부이나 소나 텔레체그레스
So I don't know why you're having such a hard time finding this. But what is it? We'll see if that's what we're talking about. No. So it's when one has the collection of hold on here. So purified limit listening in the presence of Gangi Shimi. Shimi, Gangi Shimi, is a causing collision of the collision of nature is mirroring. Let me see. Chishin. Let's go. 34. No. Sano Yeshi Ran Shingi, you know. Kabiyare, God, this. Then Donda Yanje Rimche, Gangi Yeshi.
강게 심이 단예지 사지신나 메강게 리제다 그거데 지된 걸로 표와이 강게 담으셔야 샤주도는 산두나 초반도는 제법아스 주 강게 심이 다다냐비 사지솔 제법이 있는 소나시부로 텔레시제 다지고도 두 사지고 또 봐샤오 세지 공부 있는 소나 텔레체그레스
So the it's a greater. I know exactly the one. Oh, okay, 17. Ngate Samparasa. The Rinpoche? Okay. It's actually not. Okay. Okay. So it is. So we're going to read more of it. 17. Read further. If someone were to fill with jewels as many Buddha fields as there are grains of sand in the Ganges to offer to the protector of the world, this would be surpassed by the gift of folding one's hands and inclining one's mind to enlightenment, for such is limitless. So such is vast. Anytime we see those words now, we can kind of in our mind say, oh, they just mean something really, really large. Even if in the Tibetan it transforms into the same word, the teacher's communication of the understanding of that word just means vast and grand. So it's saying that even if you were to make these offerings, it would be, Rinpoche is saying it would be a great amount of merit to be able to make such a vast offering. But making that vast offering would be surpassed by just generating the mind that aspires, folding one's hands and generating the mind that aspires to enlightenment once. So it's saying, because this is the most vast, this is extremely vast. Digsung Rinpoche. The Ngama the Cheran Langdun Lung. Jason. I forgot. I don't remember the other quote. I apologize. Digsung Rinpoche. Let me make sure I read everything.
Tadara shona lebar, tadara shona debe jela pen, jela yang, me penshin, jizhung don zhuyu, ne shangshu tubi, tao na lebar sheba shene, lo zin tu ne, dun na, ruba, la na, yueba dan rade, jero les, 다 듣는 가서 신신 단적도 선적 공투가 제가 뒤에 되는 뭐 제가 하고도 어디 용사 말해서 로송주 말해서 대들 손에 대비 찔라야 매팬신 손에 생손에 뱅거 말해서 매팬신 지종도 주요 생손과 있나 어떤 손바 칠천조사 그래서 지종도 주요 샤슈 주비 타나 레바시네 소지고 모두비 타도서 그걸로 소나고 소나 시투스 소투스 야바 셰바제네 로진도네 로쿠시베제네 네 어데 로존제 고레스 공고레스 되나 로발라나 여반다데스 어데 제바이나 소지고 모두 수라발 여반다브레스 수송도 제라레스 제대로 수주바 이제 좀비 본래 탈라메 벤치 ane 대유 양아 동아 마지 버 그비 전루 켈라 텐신에 다도 가와가 사유 타원조로 대유 지신 뭐가 마지 봐 제대로 샤유 타지 그바도 케비 지지 템베 진도나 되나 타지 로발라나유 제소스 제로고데 대송도 제로레스 쇼비 폼발 타고 말레스 생존에 펜투요 말레스 폼 쇼비 폼발레 탈라메베 폼발 타올 뱅거 말레스 대유는 양아 동화 마제바 그비 전루 켈라 텐신에 소나고 투이시고 투투도 케바톨 텐네 야부 셰바제 고르스 셰바제네 저도 가온 라유 타완조로스 칼리 카부 이나야 렐하부제는 사제 공투와 용거레스 타완조로 대유 지신 마가 마지바 지신 마가 되는 왜 소소 된데 와 지신 마가 마지바 제대로 샤유 터지 그바도 제대로 샤유 터지 그바도 케비 지지 템베 진도나 전나 사진 줘봐 라나유 제소스
Gare Rinpoche. The Dondagare, the KP GG, the gar Kepa?
Kebi ziji tembes, keba ziji, kebal neba juro neba, the ziji logro ziji. Tembe zinto na, kebi ziji tembe what the abre zinto baina, dona lazin yoba, dona ruba laban yoba rabo yungres.
KP ZG.
Kebi ziji is in the keba to look neba juro, ziji lao ziji. Ziji chimu.
Kepa, becha kepa? Kakare.
Becha kepa doing.
Kepa, they seek there?
Yeah.
Ale.
Kebi ziji keba neba. Tembe zinto na, keba jigo tenden jes lava ina and gaso tungone yimba something.
Ale. The junior,
Tibi Ziji
NGK
Tembi Zin
junior.
Duna Taji Ruba Lana Yusa, Jesus.
Okay. Thus, since becoming discouraged and remaining so brings no benefit at all and only leads to further discouragement, understand well the methods for achieving enlightenment and uplift your mind. When you do this, the completion of your aims is in your hand. The Garland of Birth Stories says, "Discouragement does not help to free you from misfortune, so rather than torment yourself in sorrows, develop stable proficiency in the required goals. Then even the very difficult becomes easy, bringing liberation. So achieve what must be done by the indicated method, without making yourself fearful and unhappy. Support yourself with stability that has the brilliance of proficiency. Then the achievement of all aims is in your hand." So Rinpoche read this actually 3 times. Discouragement does not, this is the Garland of Birth Stories, discouragement does not help to free you from misfortunes. So rather than torment yourself in sorrow, develop stable proficiency in the required goals. Then even the very difficult becomes easy, bringing liberation. So achieve what must be done by the indicated method without making yourself fearful and unhappy. Support yourself with stability and that has the brilliance of proficiency. Then the achievement of all aims is in your hand. So discouragement does not help you to free you from misfortune. So by becoming upset, whatever you're upset about, the being upset doesn't change it. So the being upset part doesn't change what you're upset about. So it's saying that instead of tormenting yourself, if you work towards the goals, it says required goals, I think. Required goals are those goals that are required to become a Buddha. So those are the collection of merit and the collection of exalted wisdom. So it's saying that instead of being tormented by things that you can't change and that your torment won't help, develop proficiency, then even the most difficult things will be easily dealt with. So these small things now that lead to such sorrow, that the sorrow can't fix the problem, wouldn't be an issue if one had this endurance, this perseverance, working towards the goal of the 2 collections. So even things that are more difficult would be easy. So that makes it easier to achieve liberation. So once you're working towards the goals, the little things are easily dealt with, and even the big things are easily dealt with. So it becomes easy to achieve liberation because there are big things that are hard when you're trying to achieve liberation. So achieve what must be done by the indicated method without making yourself fearful and unhappy. Support yourself. Here, there might be a misprint or something. Here it's talking about a scholar, getting a scholar. It says that has the brilliance of proficiency, like surround yourself with a scholar. It says KP, and I asked Rinpoche if that's a scholar, if there was, I just was reading the word wrong. And it says definitely support yourself or surround yourself with a scholar that is stable and has proficient. Word stable, like meaning ethical. Stable and proficient, meaning nupa, ability, has the good abilities. So then the achievement of all aims is in your hands. So if you have these, then the achievement of the goals, of the collection of merit and the collection of exalted wisdom is right in your hand. Okay, Jerat Lung Tsar.
Ta papa tume ji ja chenpo la lo tu na lebar she jang shomba me ba dans papa tume ji ja chi la na lo tu tu ga she ba ji she jang ne shomba me ba shongju ma res yue ten ngang zang ji chu me she ba yue ten chu chu yue na da ga de ge sang je ju ma res yue ten ka ji yue na gu res chu she me je ba Nidang Demba Shi Gubayang Sombalas Papa Tomeji Jachimbala Lutu Lebara Shejang Shomba Mebatan Jije Yoden Angutanji Chumashiba Nido Timbare Yoden Chuchun Daga Digger Samaji Yoden Kazu Yuna Guguris Nidang Demba Shi Gubayang Sombala Dane Yoden Dana Ri Yoden Chenba Yin Yoden Chenba Yin Shu Danshi Jena Lanji Sachenbo Shi Jedo Nyashin De Kagombe Chobanzela Lanji Nela Kebashiki Lonriji Jawa Ne Dune Dea Yuen Chaji Yueme Yuenjang Tezangji Gaya Machine Dos Ta Papa Tumeji Jachumi Lang Ne Jachi Lang Ode Shanchu Sendang Shindu Tuzun Jiroda Shanchu Sendang Nijembudan Shindu Jachi Lang Tuzo Ne Jachumi Lang Nala Luchu Tuzo Ode Papa Tume Sungware Tuzo Shibaji Gures Tuzo Shejang Shomba Memba Dans Shena Shomba Jeju Mares Ne Tugu Maresan Yoden Ngutanji Chumashi Jins Yoden Chushun Jena Ota Tagan Digger Samaji Yoden Kazu Yena Guguris Chushin Mejiba Nidan Demba Shi Gubayang Somba La Tata Ne Yoden Tanari Yoden Chenba Yinyans Ne Yoden Chenba Yinyans Shu Jizanshi Jena Lanji Saju Chenbo Jedu Nyashin Te Kagombe Chobanzila Lanji Nena Kebashiki Lonriji Jawa Ne Tenyang Yoden Chaji Yueme Yuenjang Tezangji Gaya Mashi Dos Ta Yoden Sunaga Sudan Shi Tuka Chasangwaji Gugol Matu Ne Naragi Wate Diga Marisa Wata Jusu Bali Rejiwa, Jusu Boba Kanyaba, Tenjen Lanima Dush, Tena Rajin Bajus, Natsu Tanyeto Jeba Juli Jebala Juka Tangu, Tena Sanji Kuponte, Juka Tsubala Tun Chegarma, Juma Samba, Juragi Tutuk Mares, Lanjane Kebashiki, Lonriji Jawa Ne, Tune Teyan, Yuen Chaji Yueme, Yuenjang Tezangji Gayang Machine Dos, Tezangji Gayang Machine Do, Dadrenes, what the Kebaji, what Dadrene, what the Yuena, then what Yuena Chashiji Yubi Pengama, Yuena Chatong Jangu Res, Dadrede, Gojushi Shuna, Yishin to Shune, Roa Nayu, Yuena. Shuri Chuba Maziba, Gumi Cheba Chua dance, Yuden Haji got the Timberman Tayuden and Diggle Chuba Zinju Maris, Gumi Cheba Chua dance, Yuden Kadishuna, Tele 2 Yuden to Jean Gores, Solange Mulola, or the Goma to Jean Gores, Cheba Chua dance. Saja Taiba La, Lu Gujang, Shomba Meba Shinto, Gamba Nangos. Saja Taiba La, Lu Gujang, Shomba Meba Shinto Gamba Shonken to Mombores, Gamba Nango. Or the Batukaleju.
Gamba Nango. Okay. Then the Tama the Labja Taiba La the Tama. The Labja Taiba La
Laja Tayibala.
Logu Jang Shumba Mepa.
Laja Tayib, so no to is to
Gombo.
Tayibal Logo, Saint Shonju Maris.
Okay. Arya Sangha says repeatedly that you have both to know well the methods of training in extensive practice without being discouraged, and to not be satisfied with only minimal qualities. So there are two. At present you think, I have reached a high level of the path. At present you think I have reached a high level of the path when you have produced a single approximation of a good quality. Even if it is an actual good quality, it is only one aspect of the path. You are content to meditate solely on it. So you become very comfortable with one aspect of the path that you become quite proficient at and become good at. So because it's comfortable for you, you focus on that solely and become very adept at that in that area, and think that it's fine. I have enough knowledge. I am comfortable with what I know, and I'd like to stay within this comfort where my comfort level is. It's fine. There isn't any need to go further. I have the realization that I need. And then it says, you are content to meditate solely on it. But then those knowledgeable in the key points of the path explain from within the guidelines of Scripture and reasoning that is indeed a fraction of virtue, but with just that alone, you have not reached anywhere. So when you look at what's been presented by scholars, there really hasn't been any advancement made in terms of the collections of exalted wisdom, the collection of merit, and the practice of the five paths, or the eventual working towards the practice of working towards and practicing the five paths. It says, when you understand what they have said, you become extremely discouraged. So when you understand that the scholars state that you've really gotten nowhere and it's not fine, then you become discouraged. Thus, those who do not remain satisfied with just some small portion of virtue, who seek higher distinction, and who are not discouraged even with the necessity to learn limitless trainings, are extremely rare. So it's rare to have someone who is willing to engage in the vast, difficult path, engage in the pathways of accumulation, path of preparation, the path of seeing, the path of meditation, and the path of no more learning, and creating these collections of exalted wisdom and collection of merit that require an enormous amount of work, and only relying on one specific practice that is comfortable only creates, as it say, a fraction of virtue, and that fraction of virtue alone will not allow you to reach anywhere, because you need a collection of two things, not a fraction of a part. So this is the reasoning behind the statement that someone who actually practices is rare. Khensur Rinpoche.
Tanyeba Tunjin Pongi Tusabalaje, Yet Shosana, Mabaji, Tombaji,
Less so.
Temba Nibaji, Gai Tocheba Sombaji, Ne Tuito Jeba, Jete Mare, Tatom Dumba Shosana, Dumbe, Tunduji, Tenshebin Dumbas, Duba Dubing of Tundinios, Sanji Tundu Dumba, what the Jay. Dumba. Dumbe is Dumba, Sanji Gumutundu, Duba de Baina, and the Sanji Gumutubala, Tundu Tongres, Tundu Jigres, Tundu Jitanship, and Duba de Tundu Jitanship of Sombe, did Maban and Duba was, Maban what in Dubalia Ures, Maban and Duba. Maban and Duba was. Tejibi Duba Jibi Gubakaras and a Gubana. Da Hon Da Tata Chula Maba Trawa Yi, and then Homa Tata Chula Maba Trawa Yi, ane 용반된다 shungwa choro nengela wade chulu mabata chawa udine maba shungsares sushi chula mabaton sushi chula mabaton tonjo maras maba chu sanjo ko tuwa ne mabatu gogores teba chembi chudu de mabatu gogores ton ge shu ne tangje ge shu tangje tawa mabatu besons gawa tangje tawa de mabale diyoruz maba yemade shajamen bodak son yores tobe son sheba taros what kale jude ya
sheba tar the nicha losa Rinpoche the lung ni yure the nipa the sik ni the charan the losa kabaka
nipa bongi tu
less
tu sabala je
that side
maba da temba da to doa tu tozo dan dünbe dünde jiten sheba sonbe de maba dünba o de jebe goba ne da ngon da da ya chula maba da trawayi
that's
pomba danda shongwa choro
that's
sushi chula maba don
that's
tonjo mares
that's
ge chune tangje je
that's
da maba tubeson ge chu tangje da de maba yimba de shajaman bodak son yores sheba taros
that's the kuna okay
oh yeah
all right going into the sik ni manga yere okay so now we're moving on page 195 gathering the forces of favorable conditions. This section has 4 parts: developing the power of aspiration, developing the power of steadfastness, developing the power of joy, and the power of relinquishment. Number 1, developing the power of aspiration. As it is said that yearning acts as the basis for joyous perseverance, aspiration here refers to yearning, or a wanting. The need to generate it is stated in engaging in the bodhisattva deeds. My present destitution has arisen from my not aspiring for the teachings, both now and in the past. Who would forsake aspiration for the teachings? The sage declared aspiration the root of all aspects of virtue. Digsung Rinpoche. The ngatsu karma nga dene triwa dang lenja.
okay yeah
Okay.
da dene wade za maba tobe sheson bataro maba cheta jebane di zawa da do ne namin de gombe so she kana ge lele de ba yido mo yo tu gomba la shete dama de wade kabile de nabile de son do so da wa shetes kabile na gawa gile kabile debile nabiles ana gile şu kabu yimba kabu ay kabile imbeser kabu ina zoyu goro da kabile migdaro madu kabu maylo
Ale.
nabile nabu mayi nabu ina zoyu gomarba
That's
ya
then the NGK, the Napo, Garpo, Pechichegamare,
ya
the Gewa, Megewa, Pechicheg, the Me Kashe, the Napo, Garpo, Gapomare,
ya
Konsatsano Dang, the Ducha, then Dainsun San Kejor Kashe, the Pechichegamare.
ya
And then it states how to develop aspiration. Its root in turn is constant meditation on karma's fruitional effects. So again, constant familiarization. The word gom, again, I always say this, in Tibetan, we translate it as meditation. But you can see how it really refers to just, again, over and over, familiarizing yourself. In turn, is constant familiarization on karma's fruitional effects. Just thinking about it over and over again until it's ingrained in your mind. This means that the way to develop aspiration is to meditate on how pleasant and unpleasant effects arise from virtuous and non-virtuous karma respectively. Again, it doesn't say virtuous and non-virtuous, it says black and white. So it says that this means that the way to develop aspiration is to meditate on how pleasant and unpleasant effects arise from black and white. Let me see if it says karma. Black and white karma. respectively. So it doesn't, what I'm about to explain doesn't need to be explained because they explained it already in the text. They put virtuous and non-virtuous. What Rinpoche is saying is white karma is referring to virtue, and black karma is referring to non-virtuous. Now, Rinpoche said, is this action white? No. Is this action black? No. It's because white and black are colors. So when we look at in Tibetan Buddhism, when they explain in the Logic Primer, black and white are colors. I know that we consider them shades and things like that, but they're colors in the basis that they work from, the Logic Primer that they work from. So when we say, is this karma white? No, it's white karma. It's just a name designated for the type of karma. So they've chosen not to use the literal translation here and just chosen to explain what it means. But I'm just, as a translator, just want to point out, if you read a literal text and it says the white deeds and the black deeds, it's important to know that that's the norm that they use to explain virtue and non-virtue. And I'm not really sure why it was changed, but it's changed a lot when you look into the texts. So it's important to know, if you do find one that's not changed, what it means. Let me make sure I got everything. Now we will have time for questions and answers. So that's what we'll do. We're just going to Rinpoche wanted to just start that, auspicious reasons, and then we'll go over it again next week. So Coleman and Don have questions?
Going back to sleep, but I see in the daytime that the mind is always going places, so there's like a sleep in the daytime. And then, to combat that, they have meditation, and the one meditation is one-pointed, but I'm thinking the other one is compassion. So if you think, when you wake up in the morning, about others all day long, you're one-pointed on thinking the welfare of others, and you do that all day. Is that like the meditation for compassion?
So you're saying two meditations, one single-pointed. These are just examples you're giving of kinds of meditation. Because if you were to divide meditation, it actually divides into single-pointed and analytical. But just for the sake of this question, so as compassion is a type of meditation, so you're asking, if you wake up in the morning with this motivation of having compassion for all sentient beings, and then you carry that throughout the day, is that the meditation? Is that the question?
It's like, that's like one-pointed? Every time you encounter somebody, you think of their welfare? So all day long you do that. Is that like it's like one-pointed because your mind...
Okay, I see the question. I think, again, this is a lexicon issue. Single-pointed concentration means specifically you are focused only on that one thing and nothing else. So it's a state of meditation you go into. The Rinpoche, the Kongchua, the Nike Lang. Dene the ninji tsanlo dang, in lang ninji the keiji tambo ninji tsanlo dang. Dene the ninji the nima kanga ninji the karma chi ni the nima kanga ninji tsanlo dang. The ninji tingenzin. Kongi chua the tingenzin. The nima kanga, the chutsu tambo nipa sumba jipa, the gar kanga ninji tsanlo dang, the kagamare ninji kuna the tsanlo dang. Dene the tingenzi,
띵은지 서 말해. 희지도 띵은지 가가래.
Dene the kongi chua the sem ninji kunna tsalodang. The tingenzi dan drapo gangin sena the sem the yul kunna.
희지 고나 산다바이나 희지 띵은지 말이 되냐도 띵은지 요아르스.
Okay, so there would be if throughout the day you're thinking of compassion, if like this is on your mind throughout the day, then this is a practice of great compassion. There would be a single pointed concentration on great compassion, but it wouldn't be, when we're using that terminology, single pointed concentration, that's a specific state of meditation. So you wouldn't be interacting with others in a state of meditation, but you would be practicing the path and accumulating merit by thinking about this all day. So you'd be practicing, you'd be accumulating merit, but it wouldn't be considered single-pointed meditation because there are distractions. You would see cars, you would be driving, you wouldn't be only thinking. There'd be no other objects than the compassion when you're having a single-pointed meditation on compassion. So it's just, you are, in the English, I see what you're saying. You're only thinking of single-pointed. You only have one point on your mind, is compassion. So is that single-pointed compassion? I think it's the trouble with the English words here. Single-pointed concentration in Tibetan is a very specific thing. And then it's defined as what Buddhism says this thing called single-pointed concentration is. So as soon as you veer off and try to think of the word and relate it to how we speak in everyday language, that's, I think, when we get into trouble. That's why I think we have to almost define every word to know what they're talking, define the word according to what the culture believed that word was defined as at the time to really read this material. So anyway.
Thank you.
Thanks. Coleman?
So I was just wondering, is it more common to enter the Hinayana than the Mahayana?
The me mo, the teme landro, me mo techen landro.
되버레 수수수 되버레.
It's everybody's own affinity. I said, is there more? He said it's whatever anybody wishes for. So I don't know. You could probably do a study and see if there are more Hinayanists or Mahayanists. I would say there are probably, I don't know. I think there are probably more Hinayanists. If you look at the countries. The Zambaling, Chikshena, Teme Mo. The Vietnam, dang, Sri Lanka, dang. Charan Sanlo Garyube. I'm asking Rinpoche what he thinks. Charan Sanlo Garyube. The Zambaling, the Kanga. Techen Mo, Teme Mo. Charan.
How go 말이지?
He doesn't know. I was guessing also.
도문인 대전랑 로장우르스.
So first it's good to start with the Mahayana path. Study the Mahayana path.
제면랑 런네 상지도만 야자 대전랑 쇼고르스.
So the lesser vehicle, Hinayana path, does not allow you to become a Buddha. You get the Hinayana liberation, and then you need to do the Mahayana pathways to become a Buddha. So you still have to go back and do them in order to accomplish your own aims.
So it's shorter just to enter the Mahayana from the beginning?
The Tanyepo, Tanyer, Tambo Techen, Gutso, the Shanchup, Tanyer, Tambo Teme, Tambo Techen, Gari, the
수수수 되버레.
Yene, the Gari Tanye Sho, Tanye Sho Gare. Yembadra Techen Tambo.
도문인 대전을 쇼바이는 상지고도 조.
Okay, so the quickest way to get to Buddhahood is by going the Mahayana first. Is the quickest way to get to Buddhahood. Anyone else on the mic? We have some time. We have, we should make use of it. We have definitely one more question. Awesome.
So when you talk about the progression, or is it a progression, I guess, for people of individual of small capacity, medium capacity, and great capacity, if I'm focused on the Mahayana from day one, am I automatically a being of great capacity, or do you have to, is there like a linear progression? Do I have to be a being of small capacity and attain that knowledge, and then a medium capacity and attain liberation before I'm on the path of a being of great capacity, or am I automatically on that by saying this, relieving the suffering of all beings is my sole intent? Am I automatically a being then of great capacity because that's my intention?
Okay. I think it's realized capacity is what you've realized. So if you've the Rinpoche, the Jipo Chungo, Jipo Din, Jipo Chenmo, and Kongichua the Kale Kale, Gangesine Kale Kapudu, Kongichua the Tambo Kon Techen Nyamlan Chedu, the Jipo Chenmo Techen, Kongi Dopa Techen Tanda, Den Sunsan Kon Jipo Chenmo Yin. The Kongi Chiwa Tambo, the Jipo Chungo, the Jantro, the Dumason, then Jipo Chenmo Yinba, the Chiwa the Tomo Alanji Rimba, the Jipo Chungo, Mena, Jipo Chenmo Yu, Yubi Judre,
Jipo Chungo da Tomo lo majamba.
Okay, so if you have not realized the paths for beings of small capacity, you cannot be a person of great capacity. So if you're looking at it in terms of your label as an individual practitioner, why I've said in the past I'm not even of small capacity, because I haven't realized refuge. I haven't realized karma and its results at a degree where I would say that I would move on to the three highest higher trainings to realize those. So I would be aspiring to be a person of small capacity, but to be a person of small capacity is somebody who is a practitioner of those things, of those capacities. So you couldn't, if you don't have the small capacity practices, you can't be a great capacity practitioner. Does that make sense? I think I'm overcomplicating it, but it's just a cause and effect relationship, and that's why it's called shared in common with, because it has to be there in order for the next step to happen. There have to be the teachings shared in common with beings of small capacity for someone to be a medium scope practitioner. They have to have those. You know what I mean? Yes. Then the Jipo Chungo, that's Nampa Dopa, Namdo, then Dopa, then Jantro, the Gonchu Sun, Jausuja, the Gon Mamboja, Gon Mambo, Nima Dakpar Gon, the Gon. Then the Ngusun Sema year, the Jantro Ngusun Sema. Then Jipo Chungo Ngusun Jepa Go Yengu. Jantro dang me gewa ju pongit suchen. Then the Ngusun go, the Gonja. Nyamlen go. Then the Nyamlen Chena, then nga the Jipo Chungo yin. Then the show nga Jipo Chungo yin. Then the Chungo. Kuna.
Kuyudongal Tananya Dine. Tennessee, Yomo Shiji Bondo Sanlu de Chibichemro, Sanjigo Montona.
It sounds like there's a subtleties here too, though, because if you are practicing, it's Rinpoche is saying a way you can qualify it is if you have a desire to be free from the lower realms, you are a small scope practitioner. If you have a desire to achieve liberation, you are a medium scope practitioner. If you have a desire to achieve, then you are a great scope practitioner. But in terms of realizing the great scope, that's different. So you You're a practitioner. We could say but you're also not a Mahayanist. It's the same thing as you're practicing the Mahayana, but you're not a Mahayanist until you have bodhicitta. You're not a Mahayanist till you're a bodhisattva, but we're practicing Mahayana. It's a subtlety in there because the door to the Mahayana is bodhicitta. So you don't enter the Mahayana until you're a bodhisattva. So you're not a Mahayanist. It's similar to that. It's a subtlety in there of language that's similar to that. You're a great capacity practitioner, but if you haven't realized the bodhicitta, then you haven't realized part of the great capacity. I would almost say that realizing the whole great capacity is Buddhahood. So it's complicated. But what qualifies you as that practitioner is your desire. But you have to, in order to realize the things within, you have to have realized the prior things. So you can be practicing and reading about the 3 highest higher trainings, but if you don't have the foundation of refuge and the ethics, they won't work. It won't. You can know about them, but you can't. They won't engage. You won't. You know what I mean? You can't. You can't.
6 perfections, even though they're part of this higher training that's well beyond all of the other.
Then Rinpoche, then Garishine, the Shintru Lobjung She, Gangisine, the Rimbo Dang Jar, Tambo Ngatsu Jantro, the Chikshena Lochi Gomja. Then the Megewa Ju, Lochi Ni Sung Gomja. Garishine Ngatsu, the Sheda Mambo Gonja Du, the Rimbo Dang Jar, Juje Dang Jar. Then Garishine Ngatsu Shintru, then Lapja Gare, Rinpoche, Kong Triwa, Lapja Gare. Gangisine Juje. Then ngatsu the Zupa Dan Zunju the Lobjo Mambo Chena yene ngatsu the Gonchu Sum Hako Gomare. Then Pentagare Pentosho. Nyamdu ngatsu Dutsu Yomare. Ngatsu Chutsu Chi Nima Dakpar. Chutsu Chi ngatsu Nima Kangang Yomare. Lobjung She Kamasumju Sansang. Lapja Gare. I'm saying to Rinpoche, we're very busy lives. We don't have all day to study. And if we could study the vast array of all of the aspects of knowledge. But if it's a cause and effect relationship, and these are graduated stages, does it make more sense to start at the very first topic of the Lamrim, realize it, then move on the next year to the next topic, instead of studying all these different things and confusing ourselves? I said, if you have an hour, you have 30 minutes in a day as a lay person, what are we supposed to be doing? That's where I left it. I'm looking for the answer. Then the Lapja Gare Rinpoche, Ngatsu Karma Sumju, the Karma Sumju, Ngatsu Chutsu Chi, Ngatsu Dutsu Mambo Yomare, then Gare Pento Sho, the Gonchu Sung, Kuna Gomja, the Sanjay Yunten, Chugi Yunten, the Kuna Gonja, Nyamdu Ngatsu Sem, the Trugudu, Dutsu Mambo Yomare, Ngatsu Geshe Chagamare. Then Charan Salugari Yube, Gari Pentusho. I said, we're not going to become Geshes. We don't have time. He said, if you can study to be a Geshe, you should become a Geshe. He said, you are like Geshes right now. Like Lamrim Geshes. I don't think we're going...
But like generosity, shouldn't I be practicing generosity? It's a perfection. It's, it's way up in the teachings, but it's something I can do. It's tangible.
But what if you get so angry because you weren't ready to give it away, and then you all day and night are mad because you gave away something you shouldn't have because you weren't ready? Yeah. That's the kind of thing that we're talking. It's the common sense cause and effect stuff. If you spend all day doing something you're not prepared to do, you're not going anywhere. But if you dabble in it in order to enhance your understanding of the path in its entirety, and then focus on where you're at in most of your time, then that's how you actually succeed on the path. If you go all over the place every day with topics, this is my suggestion, this is not Rinpoche's translation. You go all over the place with all these topics, you will get nowhere. You start at the beginning and you realize them one by one. You look at you have an hour, 15 minutes on the totality, 15 minutes of dedication and introductory prayer, and the rest of it should be spent on the thing you're working on at that point in your practice. That's what I would think. That's what the Lamrim tells me. These are all, when you read Pabunka's explanation of the Lamrim, he has a very in-depth one. These are all topics to be realized. They're not topics to know. They're topics to get direct, valid cognition of.
But practically speaking, there are things you can do in your...
Of course. But that's why we're not saying not to be generous. We're saying what would be the pitfall that could come up if you were generous too soon. That's all I was saying.
Well, yeah, I know, but even practically speaking, you could say practice compassion or practice patience or practice generosity, and you could, integrate these things in your normal life and still, continue your practice of the perfections as you're going through your normal day and integrate this into your life and continue to practice and to not have it be one of these things where you're only doing one thing at a time, and to continue to try to grow as a Mahayanist.
That's the 15 minutes.
Well, no, it's not even just 15 minutes.
No, I'm saying you break it into an hour. I was saying 15 minutes the totality, because you throughout your day you want to be a good person. But you're never going to get to the ultimately good person if you don't know what are the excellent qualities of the Buddha. What are they?
I couldn't name them all.
See what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like, so you going for refuge, you're putting your life in the hands of something or someone, you don't know what they are. You see what I'm saying? That's the point I'm getting at. I don't know the answer to that completely either. Mm-hmm. But that's the point I'm making. What are the excellent qualities of the Buddha? What are the excellent qualities of the Dharma? What are the excellent qualities of the Sangha? What are the enlightened activities of the Buddha? What does that mean? Why is the Buddha suitable to be my teacher, suitable to have my spiritual monopoly for the rest of eternity in his or her hands? Why am I allowing him or her to do that? Mm-hmm. So that's how you get immovable faith, is by knowing that stuff. And without immovable faith, there's no way to traverse the more difficult parts, like when somebody needs your eye, you hand it to them. You know what I mean? So that's all I was saying. Of course, we do the best we can throughout our day. Kon di segadu. The nima dakpar. Tsansan the me shuba the ngul gugudu. The ngul detste. The jimba. Then the me chik dungyal yure. Ngatsu dungyal the ninji sanlodang pento. Then ngatsu the mambo sanlodang pento gudu segadu.
Yeah, but when it is,
he said that's true. That's the real. That's the real truth that we. I said you go throughout your day and you have opportunities. If someone's poor, you could maybe be generous, or if someone's suffering, you have the thought of, I wish I could free them from suffering. And I said you go throughout your day and you're going through all these topics, and that is. I was saying that you're saying that this is also a way to practice and beneficial without only focusing on one thing. And he said that's the truth. So it's the difference between like having a familiarization with something and then realizing it. The difference between you have $1,000 in your pocket and someone says, do you have any spare change, and you give them $5, versus giving them all the money in your pocket, taking off your clothes, clothing them, and then, you know what I mean? Like, you see what I'm saying? There's degrees of generosity and degrees of things. That's why the Nagarjuna says, Bodhisattva gives his or her eye, but start with vegetables. We have time for one more question.
Okay. Something was said in the teaching today. If you're a bodhisattva and every day you're engaging in meritorious activities, even when you're resting or even when you're sleeping, it's continuing. Mm-hmm. And I'm wondering what Rinpoche thinks. Can we translate that then to like any person, even when they're sleeping, if they are doing something and they have a dream, in the dream, if they are doing something good for someone in the dream, is that an actual real meritorious activity? And likewise, if
for a bodhisattva?
Actually, for anybody, can we translate that
well,
to
the
anybody?
tough part is this is only talking in the text.
Okay.
It's only speaking of someone who is a bodhisattva.
Okay.
And it's saying when someone has bodhicitta, that state of chitta is mind. And if we take the etymology, bodhi, Buddha, chitta is mind. And it means that if you have bodhicitta, you only have this thought to become a Buddha for the sake of sentient beings. It permeates your mind. So it's saying that everything you do when your mind is permeated by bodhicitta is virtuous. It says even if you're urinating, you're creating virtue if you are a bodhisattva.
Okay.
So I can ask a question, but with that you have to know that's the very specific context of that part.
Well, then this is my question.
Cool.
So a regular person,
Okay.
dreaming, in their dream they commit a non-virtuous
Okay.
act. Is that a real, actual non-virtuous
Can I
act?
like say killing? Can I use
Yes,
a
yeah,
specific?
use that
Okay.
example.
Konde de susujuo de papa yomare. Susujuo de nikegdu de molang. De molang de suchuna. De suchupi le sagdue.
So much.
Oh,
No.
Okay, thank you.
You know. I asked him if you create the karma of killing. No. The le nyun yurube. Dipi le nyun yurube.
Kadile.
The suchuna, the nila, the molan, the suchuna, the dipi le nyun yurube. Pacha. Hako mare. Keo mare.
Nyalan sujeba tako nyalan ro sujeba le sujeba maro. Nyalan tang maro.
Nyune de in sunsang musam. Ale, sema yomare.
Yeah.
Okay, so Rinpoche clarified it even more to me. He said because it's not sema, it's not valid cognition, there's not a sentient being that's actually killed. So you're not taking the life of, so you haven't killed. The definition of killing is that you separate the life of another, and you don't do that in a dream. So you couldn't have killed.
Malaji sujeba mai.
It's a dream of killing, but not killing.
Malaji mai. Nyalan tamba ina. The malang mares mai.
Fire a person. People? Me?
Shumme.
Okay, it's fire and human sounds so similar that I always have to ask. So a human being in a dream is a dream human, but not a human. Not a human being. I think we're done. Concluding mandala offering dedication prayer. Sheda yapul du. Sheda pentogu Rinpoche. The nga the mambo geche shesong yene the cheran dunda the nga dunda yomare. Nga tsanlo lama son. We're concluding mandala offering. We mean the one right on top. Concluding mandala offering and dedication prayer. The fundamental ground is scented with incense and strewn with flowers, adorned with Mount Meru, the four continents, the sun and the moon. I imagine this as a Buddha land and offer it. May all sentient beings enjoy this pure realm. I dedicate whatever virtues I have collected for the benefit of the teachings and of all sentient beings, and in particular for the essential teachings of Venerable Lobsang Drakpa to shine forever. I send forth this jeweled mandala to you, precious Guru. I dedicate all this virtue to emulate the knowledge of the hero Manjushri and likewise Samantabhadra as well, with whatever dedication is praised as supreme by all the conquerors who traverse the 3 times. I also dedicate all my roots of virtue for the sake of auspicious deeds. I pray. Pray for the long life of the precious Khensur Wandak, upholder of scriptural and realizational doctrines, spiritual friend who trained extensively in the 5 great philosophical texts with exceptional wisdom and perseverance. Tu Rinpoche Gutsi Shapi Denalang, Lamrim Chembo Kongat Trionang.